Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Neil, Refracted Curvature, and a whole bunch of people in Flat Earth Debate Discord server, so welcome one and all.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. Hoping for a very relaxed show today. We may or may not even do housekeeping. We'll see how it goes. But tomorrow is going to be super serial. Yesterday was super serious with, what is it, Earth Awakening's Discord server. Although we did the full hour with them, you know, they're still highly resentful of us, our methodology, when it comes to the arguments themselves. I feel that they don't necessarily follow along with what's reasonable behaviour because they don't necessarily know the argument, which is reasonable. That is to say, if you don't know that an interjection is justified, you just hear the interjection and see it as an interruption causing audio chaos. As opposed to hearing, hang on a second, why are we hearing about tangents? We've already dealt with this. But that's not the case. So this is primarily, it's good in a way, because it shows exactly why I'm justifying our visits there. And as much as we might initially rub them up the wrong way, and as I explained to Earth Awakenings yesterday, my intention of being here is quite the opposite. I don't want to rub you up the wrong way, which is why I disappeared as soon as I started getting told off. I don't want to get banned from there. So if I'm getting warnings, it's like, right, well, that quickly turns into, here's your second warning now, you're banned, don't come back. So rather than that happening, hopefully next week at some point, we'll go back in and we'll do the same thing again, which is to say, show them how these arguments work. After a time, with a bit of luck, they'll appreciate where it's appropriate to interject, as I did yesterday, and where it isn't, because it's just tactical fouls to subvert the winning point, which can only come from our side these days, let's be honest. But no, I'm going to push for every single tactical advantage when it's reasonable that I can take. Why wouldn't I? I've got the winning argument.
Nathan, I think the only way we're going to get through is we have to rent a boat and we have to do celestial navigation and film it.
Well, there's another opportunity there as well, where they think that they have to appeal to an individual actually going out and doing this, regardless of how many we can just immediately rattle off that we know personally doing it. Even if it's me sat on a boat watching someone else, my sister in this instance, doing it, it won't make any difference because they're just trying to brace against it, as we found. So in the case of yesterday, we said, well, okay, there's a couple of examples. One's in the Discord server, one's a family member of mine. I mean, so what? Now what? And then what?
Have you done it? That's what.
Yeah, I mean, I do actually, moreover, want your support to do it, though, because after each event, it's like Neil's attitude is, I never want to go back. And you're like, yeah, it can be like that sometimes, Neil. Yeah? Get back to the sales comparisons. Back when I was a salesman, there were certain customers that you would go in over and over and over and over again, and you'd be persistent because there's, for at least the product I was selling, a limited audience that you can actually appeal to. So you just got to keep on going in and buying them biscuits and talking crap with them until eventually, oh, well, actually, someone came in and did make an inquiry about your product. Is there any chance I can just get one of these? Well, typically, I'd only sell just one to a dealer. And then you build the relationship from there as they get good service for the single product. And that's how it begins. There's going to be a single instance in our time at Earth Awakenings where they go, oh. And then someone parrots it off from their moderation team. And all the other moderators go, oh, yeah, I remember hearing that. And so it goes on. But at the moment, we're not making great inroads, but we've got to keep trying.
No, I don't think that's it, Nathan. I don't think they want the argument to end. And what we talk about ends all arguments. I think that's what the problem is. They like when ballers come in. They like going round and round in circles with Brenda and Omnivore and all these other misfits. They don't want it because it ends it, and they know it.
Yeah, you're just making that up.
Well,
You have
it
no
may
idea
be,
what their motivation is.
yeah, it may be just that they're people and they feel as if they have been slighted or insulted, and it is a failing of humanity that if you feel insulted, you don't want to listen to the person anymore.
Yeah,
I
again,
get over it. I get insulted every day by these cats that I'm with every day. Get some skin. Get some leather on your skin.
yeah, some people don't have as thick a skin as us, Neil, and I can understand and empathise and say, right, well, actions speak louder than words. If we're back in there saying, look, yes, we do still appreciate that there are some interpersonal things that we've got to work out first for you to take on board some of these arguments, then so be it. They'll see us in our tenacity, still there, still banging the same drum, and trying to a certain extent, kowtow to what they actually want, or say they want at the very least, to show willing.
Okay.
But tomorrow we'll be in politics server, and that'll be full on, I'm in no doubt. So yeah, we may or may not cover a video.
Yeah.
We have got a video. It's a Hossel and Felder. But whether or not we cover it today, I'm more up for just having a chit chat like we typically do in the after shows. If you guys in Discord are up for that, you all feeling chatty?
Well, in the politics server, you have AJ, right? That's his name, and he's behind you 100%, and it goes a lot smoother there.
I think there's just a certain tone and mood and standard in the politics server that's just a high standard.
And I think it's
not that AJ's behind Nathan.
Sorry, John.
This isn't about Nathan though. AJ's not behind Nathan. AJ is behind the information that Nathan's putting out. If we try to make it about Nathan, that's what they want. That's what would make it easier for someone who is upset with Nathan not to hear it. You know what I mean? It's not personal. It's just the information
for us and what we're trying to put over, but we still have to take at face value what they say rather than read between the lines or infer their motivation. You know, in the case of SC Montreal, is like you guys suggesting we need setting straight. You know, like, yeah, in the nicest possible way, that is actually what we're saying. It's like, well, I don't like that. You know, okay. That's something we'll have to work around, isn't it? Fine. I can't change how someone feels about how we interact with them. What I can do is take on board and thank them. And say, okay, well, at least you're telling me, because I can do something about it, or at least ponder it at the very least, if you tell me. Same goes for the Jeremy guy, right? He's told us what his objections are. My objections, according to him, are someone else from the ball side tells me this does work. So have you done it? Because they say it works on a ball. You're saying it works on a flat earth. Have you demonstrated it to work on a flat earth? That's his mindset. So, okay, I understand the cognition process. There's a lack of appreciation for how this process functionally forms our maps and is used in navigation, used with the Mercator, used with GPS. That's how it works. But if you just think it's my claim, then you're going to level it at my door. And there's a standard miscue. Now, I'm not going to start crying about this, but ultimately, if you hear or read between the lines of what he did say, you go, okay, so when a baller approaches you, what the very trustworthy, always honest ballers says it just does work on a globe, what like they said 7 years ago, sextants only work on a globe. No, they don't. They don't work on a globe at all. But they would literally tell us that. And now they tell us that you can get circles of equal elevation with respect to a globe. Yeah, they will say that because they're all liars. They've got to lie. But yet in this instance, someone, a flat earther, Jeremy, in this instance, has taken them at face value and has put a much higher standard on me. Now, I know that's typically the case, in society, but you expect a slightly higher degree of empathy of someone that's on your own side, or so they say, rather than saying the opponent just says it works on a globe. All right, so you can explain to me, like they explained to you and you've understood how it works on a globe then. You can't. Right, so why is it that you're taking their word at face value and not mine when you've been in this subject for 6 or 7 years? Now, I'm not suggesting that that level of time means I just should be taken at face value. You just double check what I say if you will, but what I'm saying is accurate. What they are saying is lies, but why, if you're going to just take stuff at face value, why be the baller side that you take at face value? That's the issue.
Well, what I found frustrating was that we pointed it out, right? Maybe they didn't understand what we were pointing out, which is, I think, the case. Brenda confirmed it by saying you take it from your eye level, which is a horizontal plane of reference. That's our point. You need a flat plane. Yeah. And it was missed, I feel like.
I totally agree. I tried to interrupt her and say, right, well, flat earth required, welcome to flat earth, or whatever I interjected at the point that she says, well, horizontal baseline. It's like, that's the thing you're telling me I can't be claiming, and I'm wrong and begging the question about. Here's you appealing to it. But that slipped them all by, exactly as you said. Shout out to JML24. Nathan has failed us, QE has failed us, Brian has failed us, but most importantly, Neil has failed us. We look to you to guide us, Neil. Lead us, Neil. We need you. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. What do you make of that,
I agree 100%.
Okay. Well, thank you for the super chat, J-Mel. Really appreciate the support.
Well, we are kind of going against human nature in terms of discernment, because it is not normal for the average person to have the level of discernment we're asking for. It is it's hard. You can't say it's unreasonable to ask them to accept it, but it is not the norm of how people operate.
Yeah.
Discernment about level?
No.
Come on.
You oversimplify it, and you're right to do so, Neil. But there is more to it, and there's a refinement that's lacking in people who are in this debate that we're trying to hone, we're trying to sharpen. And what I think John is saying is, in a normal standard, this wouldn't be expected. You wouldn't be expected to have this level of discernment and understanding of a given subject, especially if it's a subject that's expected to be taken as read, like Ball Earth is. So this isn't the norm. We're expecting more of them. And that's why it's kind of hard not to empathise with someone like SC Montreal that says, I'll be all right, thanks. I've been proving flat Earth plenty of time. I don't need you to give me better proofs. How dare you? You're like, who am I to disagree? But does that mean that he can't hone his arguments, sharpen up his debating practices when it comes to the type of argument that you enter into and how you enter into it? That is to say, if you're going to enter, this is my rhetoric currently, into an argument, enter into it on the front foot and state that Earth is measured flat, first and foremost, because you're then in a winning offensive position, rather than a defensive position on the back foot telling you how the globe don't work. That's all very globe. Well, no, Earth's measured flat. If you just said that as your opener, yeah? It's not enough, though, if you're in the debating arena, because you've got to be able to justify it. Why is it measured flat? Well, with a horizontal baseline. It's a prerequisite if you're going to take angles from it and navigate on it with ground positions on it. You've got to know all that. Well, they don't. I from Jeremy heard, well, I heard from the Glober that these circles work on a globe. You're like, these circles? Two-dimensional flat circles work on a globe? Number one, just at face value, it does not work. But number two, what circles? How are they being measured? Because that's the proof of the flat Earth that we want to instill into them.
And how do you get those circles again?
By measuring a flat Earth. We'll get there. We'll get there with them. I know we will. We can relate and empathise on a level that no one else can be with that server. So we know what they've been through, we know how they get treated, and we can see our former opponents in many instances doing it to them still. Now, Neil, for some reason, wants to appeal to the idea that they don't want that to end. What, Munchausen by proxy or whatever they call it? Is that the one? Where you fall in love with your captor and start to enjoy the abuse? Is that what you're suggesting?
No, they just like to argue. They don't want it to be over. They feel their channel's going to die.
What channel? The Discord server?
Yeah, whatever the server is, they feel that that's going to end, and that's it. What are they going to do?
Where are you getting this
They
from?
like to argue.
Where are you getting this from?
Discernment.
You mean you're just making it up? You're just having a little guess?
Nathan, if someone comes to you with absolute devastating proof and you're not accepting it, what else can you say?
That it isn't understood?
Yeah, sure, okay.
Well, I know that from what they've told me. I've just went through it like... What's going on, right? I've just gone through it. I explained that Jeremy told me what his objections were. His objections were a baller says these circles work on a globe. That was as much as I got out of him, in spite of trying to drag more out of him in terms of leading him to tell me how they work. He did not know. There is a lack of knowledge there.
It was interesting, too, because the baller, or said baller, right before he said that, referenced a flat plane. Like, you know, it was a very odd double speak, and it's like the dancing bear. I hate to keep going back to that analogy, but it's the dancing bear, and we keep pointing out there's a dancing bear, and everyone else is wanting to focus on, you know, how many passes are going between the people in the black shirt versus the people in the white shirts. And we keep on saying, right there's a bear dancing, guys. What are you doing? You know?
Yeah, and when the baller, in the comparison, also says, yeah, there's a bear there, everyone just whistles past it. So we're saying that, look, we and they need a flat Earth to make these measurements. This is the flat Earth they need. Then the baller says, no, you don't. You're begging the question. If I draw a flat plane out, and you go, whoa, stop, you've used a flat plane, and nobody picks up on it. They're so used to the appropriation of a flat plane to make a globe claim that they don't even spot it. So we're going, look, they're using it right there. That's them using the flat plane, like with the seismology debate. Yeah, you're getting the angles back from a horizontal plane of reference. No, I can draw an imaginary line out when you're measuring Earth and measuring the seismology thereof. You can just draw out an imaginary plane and blag that you're not really using the ball. But you'll still be using a plane that you have as now imaginary because of your ball belief. Even though that's what you've actually measured, that's what they do. So you definitely will be using a plane. Why do you think they've even got a tangent? Like, nobody's asking this question. Why have you drawn a tangent? Oh, because you need a flat plane. Yeah, because that's what will be measured. So we're going to argue about the tangent and how the tangency works, and the ball beneath it, and the radial value for it. Whoa. Why are we using a tangent? Because a flat plane must be used. So let's stop whistling past it. Every single time that they require and measure a flat plane, we'll point it out. And we'll hope that the people who are, let's face it, a bit bent when it comes to this notion that they shouldn't be using the flat plane we measure to claim a globe anymore. They've been doing it for 10 years. So let's just stop them in their tracks from now on. No, you can't use that flat plane. Oh, I can. It's my imaginary flat plane tangent to my ball. Why? Just use the ball. No, I've got to use a flat plane here. Is that okay? They will never ask. No, well, it's not okay. They don't ask, and I'm going to be pointing it out to them. And when they stutter and stammer their way about, no, it's an imaginary plane. Now, the ground we've just been discussing being measured and proven ball-shaped isn't the ground anymore, isn't being measured, isn't relevant. It's just a tangent to space because I'm going to be needing a flat plane that's not relevant to the ball. The flat plane is, and how I get to it, has nothing to do with the ball and everything to do with needing a flat plane to be measured. They're not getting it on the flat Earth side yet. It's just too familiar. They've hijacked it so much that we don't even notice it anymore.
Yes, it is. They've lost respect for it, and people have been taught that it's not flat for so long that you don't even think about, like, what are you actually doing? You're using level as a horizontal plane to acquire angles. That requires Earth to be flat. It requires level to be a horizontal plane running parallel with surface level. That's just what it is.
There's a point for John and I, and maybe Neil, we'll find out if he tells us after the fact, where it clicks. You suddenly go, oh, it all comes back to these measurements without exception. And since then, since that for me and John a lot longer ago, you can't stop seeing it. Now, at first, it was a laugh to me when I missed them. You know what I mean? The penny's only just dropped. You're realizing all roads lead to a flat Earth. The genesis is these flat Earth measurements and angles, and then someone would utilize this hijacking from the globe side without me noticing, and John would point it out, and I'd laugh my head off because it's like, oh, why haven't I spotted it? And that was every time I laughed about it, John. Do you remember? I'd be going, oh, wow, you've got there, and what a laugh. Yeah, there's another road leading to a flat Earth. Of course, they'll need a flat Earth for this. Well, that is me not recognizing them utilizing a flat Earth. They're getting away with using the flat Earth, and it's right under my nose. John's picked up on it, and then I've had a good laugh about my own failures. But ultimately, those failures are universal across the whole of flat Earth currently. Nobody in flat Earth, with the exception of flat Earth debate, appreciates and understands that the globers are using flat Earth measurements to make their claims. And because we've seen them all before, we don't seem to see them. We're missing the wood for the trees.
Yeah, that's what I was saying the other day. They want to use our flat Earth for their globe.
Yeah. And we're letting them.
Yeah. Not seeing the forest for the trees is exactly what that is. That is exactly what's happening. People are getting too caught up in the fallacious arguments that they give instead of just seeing it, seeing what is actually happening.
Quick shout out to the best mod ever, Divergent Droid. It says 90 watching. Please share the show on Facebook and X. It's only 2 clicks. Like and subscribe too. Indeedy. It is just 2 clicks to share the show. So smash the share button now if you've not done so already. Go ahead, whoever that was from Discord.
Yeah, sorry about that. There's also somebody, familiar person in Discord chat from long time ago, named Alan B. Remember Alan B?
Vaguely.
What? I thought you guys had some interesting banter back and forth back in the day. You guys, I don't know, made for some interesting humor. Let's just say that. Anyways, hello, Alan B.
Is he in the voice chat?
Good to see you again.
No.
No, he's not in Discord yet. I tried to get him in Discord. He hasn't got in yet. He's in YouTube text chat.
Oh, okay. Oh, hello, Alan. Good to see you. Smash the super chat. Subscribe if you haven't done so already.
Yeah, they usually make their rounds. But back to what you guys were saying. Nathan, you're making it as plain as day. And they're still not getting it? Come on.
Well, wood for the trees is the best summary, and that's, what else can you say? If somebody's utilizing that which they say you cannot beg the question of, and we don't notice, that's on us. You can't use a flat plane. You won't be measuring a flat plane. Now, when I measure this flat plane, it's like we need to start spotting this.
Yeah, the globe measures to be flat. That's how you measure your latitude. It requires a flat plane.
I think latitude is
see-
the easiest route into understanding this. Yes, latitude, definitely.
But that's what you should have stopped. I thought that's what you were going to tell Jeremy right from Jump Street. Jeremy, do you realize that the globe that they're telling you they're navigating on was created through flat Earth measurements? Do you understand that much?
That's all we do there, Neil. That's all we've done. Every time we've entered, we've told them, or I have told them personally, why I'm there. My motivations in being there. To get them to appreciate how Earth's measured flat so they can move forward on the front foot declaring that. In a positive way. In the offensive rather than defensive.
Well, when you think about it, this trick has been going on since Kepler, or no, Copernicus, way back when. And I'm not saying no one's ever noticed it before, but I've never heard anyone or seen a citation of anyone pointing it out, ever. Now,
It's just us.
now that
Now that what?
yeah, but now that it's like since that point has been whistled past so much in the past, including us for several years, I think that makes it harder, because it is so simple, because it is just so blatantly there. I think that makes it harder for people to be willing to accept it, no matter how obvious it is.
It reminds me of a religious joke. So, men are mustering around, arguing the existence of their own being, and they, in their wisdom, suggest that they don't actually need a god or a creator to create life. They could do it without much effort at all. Clouds part and God appears, and he goes, I hear what you're saying. You're saying you don't need me to create life. Let's see how you get on. On you go. Let's see how you do. So the men start gathering up some dirt, and God bellows from the clouds again. What are you doing? Get your own dirt.
Very good. Very good.
So they, in this analogy, would be the men saying, we can prove Earth's spherical, no worries. Okay, let's see how you get on. Well, I'll just take this flat Earth measurement. Oh, get your own measurement.
That's pretty good, Nathan. I like that one. That's nice.
That's what they've done. John's right. They've hijacked it so long that we don't even notice. The reason we've got diagrams like the one on screen now. Oh, it's disappeared off the live stream now. The previous slide. This one will do. Right, this is a dingleberry Earth. Why have we got a dingleberry Earth? Why do we need a flat plane plonked on top of it? Well, so it'll work with angles. So we can transpose them into the centre of hell at the equatorial plane for them to work with the plane. That's how it's all done. $104 people watching. Thank you very much to everyone who smashed the share button.
Yeah, but that tells me they're not listening. They're so focused in on moderating that they're missing it every time you lay it down. That's the only reason I could see why Jeremy would come in and say, well, I'm speaking to ballers, and they say they can do celestial navigation on a globe. Not listening.
Well, if the Earth was a sphere, you wouldn't have horizontal planes. We do have horizontal planes. Therefore, the Earth cannot be a sphere. Simple as that.
Yeah, you're listening, George, but they're not.
As John said, there's very few people pointing this out at the moment. And given its importance, not my opinion of its importance, given its importance, that would be to say that Earth's being measured flat to claim a globe, I feel it's important that we do, as I said at the beginning of this live stream, build the relationships with those of us who are actually out there fighting the good fight, so that they can find their winning stride, demolishing the globe position with the flat Earth measurement, proving the nature of our existence in respect to the flat plane we dwell atop, rather than the inferred sphere that came from the measurements of the flat plane we dwell atop. Here it is on screen. You've got the angle to, let's say it's Polaris, it doesn't actually matter what star, moving to the centre of hell with respect to a plane, because that's how it's measured. Their inferences on the diagram I pointed out a couple of minutes ago, with a dingleberry dangling beneath the flat plane, will just be explained away when it works inside the globe by saying that light comes in parallel. Therefore, it's perfectly fine and dandy to just describe our position in the centre of the globe, effectively making the globe nothing more than a glorified protractor, with the dome of the heavens wrapped around that, as depicted in this diagram. That's their diagram. Where's the globe surface? Well, it's not being used. It's just a protractor, basically, with a map on it.
Even within that red herring, though, you still need the flat plane, or Earth as a flat plane, to get those to claim there's parallel light. It's so obvious and in your face that sometimes it's hard to put into words how ignorant the claim is because of it.
And that's how they show it. Some of 10th Man's diagrams where he had an aeroplane and it had the equatorial plane dissecting the globe Earth protractor, a line along, you could call it tangential, to the surface of the North Pole centric globe protractor, and then above that another line, and above that another line with a plane on it. And then they've got parallel light rays coming into each of those parallel planes. So to describe the light as justifiably coming in parallel, so they can give you this diagram on screen now with the light traversing through the globe into the centre, they suggest that because we can measure a flat Earth and parallel planes, we can describe the light as coming in parallel to that plane that we reference. So to describe the light coming in parallel, you need a horizontal plane of reference to describe it to, when you describe how parallel that angle of light that's meeting the surface, in this case the line that's coming in marked from latitude / the star into the centre. Well, those lines, if they were projected onto a dingleberry Earth dangling beneath a plane, would have to be moved inside the globe. Well, why? Well, because all the light's coming in parallel. Why? Well, because when we reference it to a horizontal plane, right, John?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's almost, I can't put it into words sometimes, just how crazy it has gotten.
Well, it's because for us, at least, we're seeing the walls of the model and the bullshit and the ideas and lies of heliocentrism falling apart in terms of their premises being flawed, their genesis having a flat Earth measurement. We're seeing that crumble about before our very eyes. And when I first got here, at least, it wasn't the case. The globe, even with us poking holes in it, was still pretty much secure and solid and seemed like it was a working, eloquent model that was a justifiable reason to explain how what we observed in reality was comparable to this globe shape that they'd never actually produced and shown, but inferred through mathematics. Well, at that point, Wakey Wakey once described it as like a papier-mâché globe that you get closer and closer to and realise that it's actually really flimsy, so you touch it and your finger goes straight through. And lo and behold, on the other side, someone's poking a hole through the other side looking back at you, and it's completely devoid of anything inside it. It's just a hollow shell, ready to be falling apart. Now we're at the stage where that papier-mâché shell has had so many holes poked in it, because every single time we hear any globe claim, we hear how the Genesis has a flat Earth measurement. To get another hole poked in it. It's just crumbling before our eyes. But that isn't the case for the rest of our community, is it, John? Still seems to have some solidity
No.
to it. When Jeremy tells me the globers say these circles work on a globe, so to you the papier-mâché model hasn't fallen apart yet.
Right. He's still wrestling with what he knows versus what he believes. It's he's trying to figure it out as much as the globers are trying to tell him what it is.
Yeah, well, it's not. It hasn't taken many by surprise over there because Eli said this is the way he is. Chocolate's like this guy's been in the argument for how many years? So something happened along the way. Even Rockfin was getting on him if you listen back.
They're called misfit toys for a reason.
Broken toys, according to SC Montreal.
Yes, I heard that you called me a broken toy. I'm fine, Nathan. I've been doing this a long time. I don't need you.
Well, can't you empathise with that position, Neil?
I could.
You broke it.
Crap that comes out his mouth. Sorry, and went transferred to Bluetooth. I can empathize, but listening to the nonsense that comes out of his mouth, he's lined up with Bev, he's lined up with all these other people, and it's just, to me, I see it as clear as day. It's anti-flat earth debate, anti-Nathan Oakley.
But in
It's on the
Jeremy's
verge of
example,
being.
in Jeremy's example, is the classic Jedi mind trick that's been implemented on him. They gave already the angles, yeah, and they plot the angles on their whatever, either a map or a sphere, whatever they want to do. The problem is they're skipping the step one, the angles. How do you get the angles? They are elevation angles. You cannot skip that process because that is step one of navigation.
And how often have we drilled that into them? So he's missing it because he wants to miss it.
That's Bacon statics, you know. He tried it on us here as well. You know, he brings his angles already in, yeah, and he wants us to find the fix. How do you get
Because
the
that's how
angles?
he's been framed with the argument. That is what we've been taught in school. That is how the understanding up until now has been disseminated amongst people in the Western world. Bacon didn't come up with that. He's just repeating what he's been taught.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad when Nathan doesn't let him go through that nonsense. We all agree that it's a flat Earth. Then what else are we doing? You agree, I agree, we all agree. Flat Earth needed. End of story. I don't care about your little fix you're trying to get. You realize that it's on a flat Earth, correct? But no, what they do is they get in the way and they apologize to the baller and reprimand the flat Earther. It's a problem here.
Yeah, but those elevation angles will be plotted on a grid system that has been in place even before you grab your sextant, you know, because those ground positions is in reference to a grid system, a flat Earth grid system.
Yeah. Again, the genesis of all of these measurements and claims the globers are going to make are in a flat Earth. They don't know it yet. They're so used to using their flat Earth that they don't appreciate that it is a flat Earth they're using. They know that they need a horizontal plane. They just justify it by saying that horizontal plane is in some way attached at a single point to a globe. But it's a plane of reference. Every time John steps into these discussions, he says the same thing. We're going to need to reference it, especially when it very specifically has ground positions at the end of it. These aren't positions out in space on tangents. They're positions we reference and are very specifically detailed as being on the ground. So they lose. It's the end. It's the origins of all of our measurements and mapping. There's no getting around it. The sooner the flat Earth community start to understand it, the better. But like with anything, you know, maybe it's because the information's too good to be true. Maybe it's because we're just not liked enough for people to want to take on board arguments that are stone-clad and unbreakable. Just because they don't like us, who cares? If that is the case, then we need to remedy that. Chow Young Cat sends a super chat. If you declare with your mouth, quote, Jesus is Lord, end quote, and believe in your heart that God raised from the dead, you will be saved. Romans 10:9. Thank you for the super chat.
You butchered that. If you believe in your heart that God had raised him up from the dead, you will be saved.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the super chat, Chow Young Cat. Really appreciate the support.
Now, back to that. Even the other day when you were talking to the guy, Andrew, you say, no, I'm getting them all from the vertical. Yeah, vertical. In reference to what?
The surface.
Yeah, and he even declared
Well,
that.
obvious.
I had to pin him to the wall to do it after about 15 attempts, but he finally went, yeah, the horizontal line is the surface. You know, he knows it as much as we do. He's got a battle against it. And you can hear it when they hesitate to say that last word when it comes to things like surface level, because we're not letting them just use those words willy-nilly when claiming a globe. Oh, well, we take our measurements from the horizon. Not without a flat Earth, you don't. Has never come in 10 years. They just utilise it, take their angles from it, and then start talking about how the globe will be using it. No, these measurements are flat Earth measurements. Same with sea level. Same with surface level. And they use them all the time. It's just typically, like I say, people will hear a globe and go, well, I just get my angle from surface level. And they go, all right, okay.
They've been robbing us for 10 years. Son of a gun.
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about since we've been in it. They've been hijacking and robbing us for the longest time. They should be called the Mafia, not globetrotters.
Go on, George.
They claim this navigation works in the globe that they don't have a radius value for.
Another road that leads to a flat Earth in terms of how they get their radius. For the longest time, we were declaring that they begged the question, and no one ever addressed it. Well, now we know why. They haven't told us where they actually got their measurement from, be it Alberuni or Polaris. They're going to need a flat Earth for it. Better to just have us telling them that they're begging the question of it. Yeah? It's a tactical loss. It's a neutral outcome. All right, you say we beg the question. Most people don't even know that that's a fallacy. Yeah, okay, we beg the question. No, they don't beg the question. They measure it off a flat Earth.
Well, it started becoming clear when I always forget the guy's name, but he said, I'll give you the flat Earth. Who is that again? That's
Conspiracy Cats.
Conspiracy Cats, right. So that's when it started, like, clicking with me, like, wait a second. They have to.
Yeah, he's going to talk about angles, and he can't do it without a flat plane of reference. So, I'll be generous to you by giving you the flat Earth so I can argue about how angles work. Yeah, you'll have to give us a flat Earth. It's not the case that you're giving us anything. You've been using a flat Earth this whole time. Let's have
That's how it's done.
Let's have a quick query from the chat. I would assume there's quite a fair few regulars hovering around 100 people in the chat. Thank you again to everyone who actually smashed the share button. And if you just joined, very warm welcome to you. If you watched yesterday's show, just let us know from the chat. Did you enjoy it? Was it good? Did you feel it was productive? Because obviously we've all commented it on the live stream show. If anybody does actually put in a comment in regards to trip to Earth Awakenings yesterday, I'll put over the chat and read out your comments potentially. So let us know how you felt it went. And moreover, did you enjoy it? That's it. Let us know from the live stream chat. Got about 10 minutes left on this live stream, so we'll see if we can get a comment or two from you watching live. Go on, Neil.
I didn't say nothing.
Oh, is it someone from Discord?
Yeah, it was me.
Okay, well, while you gather your steam, shout out to Chow Yun Cat, who's gifted memberships. Thank you very much, Chow Yun Cat. Aero picked up your free membership. Shout out to you. Check out the Uncut and After show. Go on, George. What were you
they
going to
do
say?
need a flat Earth. They need a flat Earth more than we do.
Yeah, they're the ones making all the positive assertions. And all of their positive assertions have a flat Earth genesis. So they need a flat Earth more than we do. To make their outrageous claim that Earth's a sphere, they need a flat Earth to do it. Now, the default position, what is obviously and observably and measurably flat, doesn't even necessarily need to put in the category of a positive claim. It's the default. And it's their origin measurement. So what are you going to say? The default, the reference plane, the measurement you use to make this outrageous ball claim is a begging the question fallacy, isn't allowed, isn't true. Why are you using it then?
Yeah, they need to stop using a flat plane for their reference.
Yeah.
If it's from a sphere, just do it from a sphere. You don't need to use our sign. You don't need to use anything else. Just do it from a sphere.
Exactly. None of this tangent plane out into an imaginary conception so you can have angles. No. Just use your ball. And if it ain't using your ball, just declare victory as the flat earther, because that's what they're using.
You can't do it from a curve though. That's the click to it. Part of the elevation angle is that it needs to form an angle. You can't get that from a curve. You need two straight lines.
That was funny when the guy Andrew said, what did he say? It's called angle to a curve.
Yeah, I should trim that out, shouldn't I? His name's not Andrew, he's just some rando.
Yeah, I call Andrew. You named him Andrew, that's who it is to me, Andrew. It's called angle to a curve.
That's what he actually said. I said he said curve angle, because I couldn't remember the exact phrase. But I went back and listened to it, and he says, well, it's called angle to a curve. Is it? No, we're referencing the ground and we're getting an angle from it. It's got to be flat. They don't like that, especially when it's in their own claim. Suddenly they start telling me that I'm performing reification fallacies. What, in the seismology claim you're making to prove a globe and justify that a globe head was righteous in telling off a flat earther? That's me making a reification fallacy. They just spew, don't they? Flail.
Yeah,
but they got to get it from, not to.
The angle to a curve is a red herring. Nobody's saying you can't get an angle to a curve. Nobody has ever said that. We're not stating that. We're stating from. From means that it is your reference where you're coming from. That is your baseline of the angle. There's two lines in an angle. Both must be straight.
Yeah, I understand that, but you can't get it to either.
Yeah, but
you still need to.
We know you get it, Neil. It's
yes,
illustrating part of a housekeeping question that's often overlooked. Any evidence you can acquire an elevation angle measurement from a curved baseline? Said quite quickly. What do I say? From a curved baseline. Not to a point on a sphere that you'll call a tangent. No, you can do that, yeah. But we're measuring from the ground. We're talking about elevation angles, seismology. We're talking about the ground. Now, we are, for them, also talking about the ground that they're proving spherical, right up until the point that we point out they'll need a flat Earth. Then it's not about the ground anymore. You notice that as an audience? We point out they're measuring a flat Earth. Oh, it's not about the ground. What, seismology? What, navigation? Yeah, it's just not about your globe ground anymore with your imaginary plane that you must have. But we are measuring a reference plane. We are utilising the ground. We are detailing the ground. We are navigating the ground right up until the point that it's not your sphere anymore. Then for them, the globe believers, it's not the ground. That's where they go. Not even joking. You can go back and listen.
It's like the other word they have problem understanding is equal. I don't know what's the problem in understanding the word equal in the context of equal elevation, regardless if there is a mountain or a continent within that circle. It's a circle of equal elevation, they have a problem understanding that word too.
Well, just before we go on to that word, the from and to thing, I'd like to focus on because Elder Bear or Eda Bear, I don't know what his name is. I've not seen it, but no disrespect to him. He came in and said, as a way to try to, I guess, provoke Brian, is that east and west are 90 to north, but you're claiming it's a circle. That's how do you get that 90 angle if it's a curve, right? You all remember that?
Yeah, multiple times.
Absolutely.
Right, but the compass is set up where it is tangential to a curve. The angle is to a curve. East and west is a circle. You go east long enough and you'll come back to yourself. By definition, a circle. The compass is pointing to a fixed position in the north. East and west in the compass are 90 degrees, not on the surface. So in that way, it's an angle to a curve.
Yeah, Brian described it really well. It's tangential to the north-south axis on your compass, which is a fixed location. And obviously, if you move around and keep north pointing north, you're going to keep moving around a circle. But the east-west line on that compass is tangential to that circle on the compass. But Adam stepped in and is like, well, did none of us go to Cub Scouts? And you're like, yeah, exactly. Why are we arguing about how compass works?
If your compass isn't perpendicular and the east-west is a curve, so how could that be a tangent if it's not a straight line?
On the compass, it is a tangent. In reality, if you traverse and keep north pointing north, you'll go in a circle.
No, you say it's not perpendicular. That's what you said. So it's
Tangent.
not perpendicular, it's curved. How can you get a tangent with a curved line?
May I please tell you? The east and west in the compass is not east and west in reality, right? The whole earth. East and west is tangential to that circle in the compass.
Curve. You said it's a curve. Said it's not perpendicular. So it's not a straight line, so it couldn't form a tangent.
Straight line. In the compass, it's straight lines.
It's perpendicular.
In reality,
Perpendicular.
it's a circle.
Yeah, but in reality,
Why
you're
can't you just
saying
shut up until John is finished?
The
in reality,
perpendicular
you're saying
exists
that
in the compass itself. The perpendicular is in the compass itself. Do you understand that?
no, there isn't. No, you said it. You said it's not. It's not perpendicular.
East and west in the compass is perpendicular. East and west, as it applies to the
Where?
earth, is a circle.
No, Brian said the compass was a tangent.
Yeah, the east and west that crosses the north-south line on the compass represents a line that would be tangential to the circle that you could move along.
But it's curved.
The
Can't be a
circle's
tangent.
curved.
It's not a straight line.
The circle's
No,
curved.
the east-west arm is curved.
Yeah, it's tangential to
You
the
explained
latitude.
this to him already.
Yeah, it's tangential to the
Not
latitude.
perpendicular.
Nobody said
You're
perpendicular.
convoluting the
Perpendicular only
compass.
applies in the compass to a line that's arbitrarily drawn in a tool that only points north. Now, the fact that it
You
has
said it's
on it
not
a scribe,
perpendicular.
why am I being yammered through? The fact that the tool has got one line with an absolute direction and the tool will always point that way, has got two other lines that aren't absolute, well, they represent, as Brian described, a straight line tangential to the latitude, if you want to describe it in that way. So you've got a circle to imagine. But that line on the compass is tangential to that circle. That's how Brian explained it to me. It was fairly concise.
Now you can make not perpendicular perpendicular.
Nobody
Then.
used the word perpendicular. Did I use perpendicular? Did I say that?
No, he did.
He said that the east-west arm is not is you're using it as a tangent. So that would have
Yeah.
to be a straight.
That's right. The only
line.
place that east and
And
west
if it
is... Yeah, that's right. And the only place that east and west is...
actually isn't.
He's not listening.
The east-west is the latitude. I am. It's a bit of a delay. I'm driving.
That's okay. I could sense that. Go ahead.
He
Hold on,
thinks
John.
he's got a gotcha. He thinks he's got a gotcha is what it is. That's why he keeps repeating.
Yeah, because he's got a perpendicular relationship on the tool with east and west to north and south.
Hey, you said it's not perpendicular.
On the tool, it is perpendicular.
You said east and west, the cardinal directions aren't perpendicular.
They're not cardinal directions. North is a cardinal direction. You've got an absolute direction with the tool, and that line moves with respect to what says east and west on the tool. But the line that you can draw at any given point, if you're going to draw out a straight line perpendicular to north, would only be with respect to the tool. But the line, if you want to join it to something in reality, would be tangential to a latitude. It's about the fourth time we've said it.
You're saying in reality that the north-south is a straight line and the east-west is a curved line.
If you want to call it that,
That's
in
what
terms of how a latitude
compass
circle's
represent.
drawn. If you describe it in that way, how you travel along it if you were to do so, which you wouldn't, because you wouldn't travel in a curved path. But if you did, yeah, if you want to describe it in that way, latitudes are circles of equal elevation when you measure Polaris. And if you're going to point a compass and sit on a latitude line, you could say, oh, look at that. On this compass, east-west line runs at a tangential point to this latitude. So what? And in the tool, it's perpendicular.
That's
Again,
not my problem.
so what?
Your issue to
What is-
resolve.
how is this an issue?
You know, you
This
said the
doesn't seem like an
globers
issue
can't
to me.
have it when they get an elevation angle, they can't have a tangent. But you've got one that's even curved. Your tangent is a curved line, not a
Right,
straight line.
It sounds like you don't understand the process. So when you're getting a circle
I
of
do,
equal
as you
elevation,
described it to me.
well, your circle of equal elevation is a radial value with respect to the GP of the star that you measure. That's an area of equal elevation. Now, there are also predetermined areas, circles of equal elevation we call latitude. They're just the same thing, but just with respect to Polaris.
Your compass represents the latitude and longitude.
Does it? I thought it represented a tool that
longitude is
pointed
straight.
north.
And the latitude.
Sorry, why does
you
it
said, was
represent
the concentric
latitude?
circles.
Nobody said that.
Because you said that east and west,
Yeah, it's not-
north and south are not perpendicular.
So that was that a quote of me saying that the compass is latitude? Doesn't sound like those are the same things. It sounds like what you just said in no way justified you claiming I say that the compass is latitude. It isn't. I didn't say that. It seems like you're just inventing things I haven't said to attack, and then when I ask you to justify them, you say something completely different that isn't the thing you've claimed I've said. No, it seems like you don't seem to understand what a compass is. Go away and learn what a compass is.
Okay. Okay. So if the compass isn't perpendicular and the cardinal directions aren't perpendicular, what are their relationship to each other?
So go away and learn what a compass is. You think it's got something to do with latitude when
Oh.
it's a tool that points north? That means that you're just too dumb to have this conversation. Now, given that I've explained to you
You-
how the relationship with the compass works in terms of its perpendicular relationship in the tool versus its tangential relationship with, say, a latitude circle of equal elevation with respect to Polaris, tends to suggest that you can't comprehend the things that we're telling you. So go away, learn how a compass works. Stop asking me questions. I keep repeating the answers and you don't comprehend them.
No, I keep asking questions. You don't seem to have many answers at all, but you're using a curved ruler, basically.
No, nobody said anything about a curved ruler.
Wow.
They just kicked this
Yeah,
guy
the
out. The
compass,
guy's
he said.
disingenuous. Now,
The
so
compass.
when I suggested that he's just inventing things to attack, and he tells my audience, you're using a curved ruler, no inference of any curved ruler whatsoever has been inferred. He's just making crap up to attack now. Literally, right on cue after I predicted that's what he was doing, and now he does it directly with a great example. Nobody said the words curve ruler,
attacking you,
end quote.
Nathan.
Only you. This is you building up little straw men
I'm
to
not
attack
attacking you.
and telling
I'm
us
just
that that's what
asking
we're
you, what is the
saying while
relationship
rumpusing me, pointing
of
out
the
your
cardinal
disingenuous behaviour.
directions?
So nobody's going to give this guy a warning. You know what I mean?
What are the cardinal directions?
Why is he still yammering questions through the top of me pointing out how disingenuous I am? You just rumpus me pointing out your disingenuous behaviour. What, to subvert from me pointing out to my audience how disingenuous you are? The interruption came right in the middle of what I was saying, and it was followed up by a question of me. When I'm very specifically detailing how I don't want any more questions from you, you need to go away and study how compasses work. Rather than listening to repetitions of answers to complex questions you think you've got gotchas on, that we answer and you ignore, so we have to repeat them 4 times. At this point, I'm sick of talking to you.
Yeah, I want to help you, man, but if you can't understand the difference between the angular relationship in the compass and east and west as it relates to north in the world you experience and traverse, you're not thinking about it at all.
I mean, if you were pleasant, we might want to, take you by the hand. And as much as we've criticised people like Jeremy, the guy's genuinely a pleasant guy. He's like not a bad guy to be around. He's got his objections and we're trying to overcome him. That is to say, make friends and influence. In this instance, we don't want that from you, Edabear. Literally, most people that you encounter in this show dislike you.
I thought I was being polite. I wasn't making a personal attack, but everybody knows the cardinal directions are perpendicular.
On the transverse Mercator, they are. North is the only absolute direction.
That's not my issue. Sorry.
Is that going to get a rebuttal? That's not your issue. My response to a statement that east is, perpendicular to north? No, it is on the Mercator projection, though. That's a flat map using flat angles, circles of equal elevation, angles off a flat Earth, latitude measurements that are square in that grid system were derived from the circles of equal elevation as depicted on screen in terms of the measurements with angles off a flat Earth. I mean, all of these things, to have this discussion, to be at this table, we must all appreciate and understand that we're talking about angles on flat maps, flat grids, straight lines, no curve, no globe. I mean, it's a fascinating discussion, but it can only be had by people who understand and appreciate that Earth is measured flat to have this discussion.
Right, but it detracted from my point that I wanted to say that you can have an angle to a curve, you can't get an angle from a curve. This entire discussion has been about an angle to a curve, not from a curve.
Yeah, in this instance, the tangential description is of a flat tangent with respect to a flat horizontal in a direction easterly or westerly. That's okay. Tangent to a latitude is still on a flat plane, east or west. No curve involved. We're still at a table discussing how flat Earth works. This is all flat Earth proofs. There's nothing other than flat Earth proofs in this discussion. At the end of it, is it going to be anything other than flat because of our understanding here? No. The whole process and involvement of discussion requires a flat Earth to do it. I mean, great. Seems like folly to me. Just need latitude, really.
He doesn't know what the tangent means.
Yeah, but that's the problem. No, that's the problem. You're dealing with a not flat earther. So he shouldn't be at the table. He thinks Earth is not flat.
He's discussing plenty of concepts. East, west, north, these are all flat.
Yeah, but he's confusing a tangent, which is a straight line meeting a curve in one single point, with an elevation angle, with an angle from a curved surface. He's confusing these two things. He doesn't know what the tangent is.
Yeah. And like I say, sometimes we'd be keen, like with people we see as brothers in arms over on the Earth Awakenings Discord server, to ponder these things and concern ourselves with how interpersonal relationships can be built. With people like Edabear, he's not interested in building interpersonal relationships. He's looking for gotchas. He's looking to expose ignorance in me. That's what he's looking for.
Well, those that look to expose ignorance are the ignorant ones.
There's who?
Good morning, guys.
Hey,
There's
Chocolate.
Neil Cosentino today. What's up, Chocolate?
Okay, good for you. Hey, Chocolate.
What's up? What's
Did
up?
Quantum Eraser build his show on exposing ignorance?
He did. He did. Exposing these numpties. That's right. What was that you saying, Neil?
I said those that claim those that try to catch people in ignorance are the ignorant ones.
Like Quantum Eraser. Well, I'll let him know. Right, even though the live show strictly would end at this point, right, I'm going to stress test the computer while the live show's running. I explained in the pre-show, but after having a Windows update, the computer went a bit wonky. Hopefully nothing too concerning, but I do actually want to test it just in case. And as we've actually done the hour, if it does crash with me running a game or something in the background just to stress it, it won't really matter. So if this show ends shortly, thank you for watching. In the meantime, we will continue to carry on as though it's an after show, but we will continue live. So stay tuned.
I have to rephrase that. Let me think about it. I got it. Those that are expressing that flat earthers are ignorant are the ignorant ones.
There's plenty of ignorant flat earthers, Neil.
Darn it, I got to rephrase it again.
If that's
Those
SC
that are
Montreal's
trying
criticism, he's saying, you're suggesting we're ignorant and you want to relieve us of our ignorance. How dare you? I'm not ignorant. I'm doing fine. Thank you very much.
All right, I got the right one now. Those that are trying to call FED ignorant are the ignorant ones.
That's not the problem, Neil. The problem is that people are using words they cannot define the words. They don't understand the words that they're saying. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah, like Brenda. Yeah, you're right, because they hang around with Brenda, and Brenda has a whole thing on words meaning whatever you want them to mean. Throw all your dictionaries out the window.
Yeah, that's what you've got to descend to. You know, words and their meanings. Who cares? When it comes to the words and the meanings proving a flat earth, suddenly it's not about the ground, it's not about the words, the meanings are irrelevant, they can change at will. Oh, John's come to tell you off. Something about exposing ignorance, he said, John. That's what I heard. Quantum Eraser, that is.
Yeah, I rephrased it correctly this time.
Hey, doing,
Yeah, I
Huey?
don't name anyone. Quantum Eraser.
Have you got a show? What day is it? Thursday? Have you got a show today?
I don't think so. I don't know yet.
If there were to be a show, would it be another exposing Danny Faulkner? Because today I was intending to do Witsit and his InfoWars visit, but we've put that off for Ballbusters. So if not, I'm going to do a plug for Ballbusters. I'm going to stay live for a bit just to stress test the computer.
Okay.
It was a close question. It's obviously early in the morning.
Yeah, I just woke up. Sorry.
I think while you're stress testing the computer, we should do a little bit of Boy Zero, the Sky Grifter. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
No.
No.
No, we'll do it on Ballbusters. I did contemplate doing the back half of the video so that we covered the first half in Ballbusters, but I thought, then it's out of order. It's like, Ballbusters has a different mood about it.
You
know what I
go
mean?
over, if you wanted to, you could go over, because I'm going to skip the introductions and their first, 10 minutes. So you could do it up to about, I think I marked the time down, up to 27 minutes and 58 seconds. I'm going to skip that whole part.
And there's a lot in there.
If you're going to skip it on Ballbusters because it's more worthy to cover from the 28-minute mark or whatever, then let's just. I want to join in and do it as a team with plenty of participation from the public on a scheduled show where the public tend to be a bit more involved. As
Okay.
in, they'll put their 2 pennyworth in from the live chat.
You just don't want to push no buttons right now. You want to just chill.
Well, number one, I've just literally told you I'm going to run a game to stress test the computer. But number two, when it comes to a friendly, let's not lose track of what people like Witsit are, right? He's on our side. Now,
Oh, my God.
What?
Please.
What do
He's
you mean,
on your side. He's not on my side. Have you watched that show? How
Yeah.
can you say this guy's on your side?
Perceived to be a flat earther, even if it's by stereotype, Neil.
Neil, relax.
Wasn't he your boy not
I
so
mean,
long
character, Chocolate. That's my character.
ago?
Your character's calm, cool, and collected.
Someone said he was
That's
your
why my
boy.
character
I'm
just
funny.
told you. That's why my character just told your character to relax, calm down.
I came out of character. Uh-oh.
Somebody claimed he was your boy, Chocolate.
Somebody claimed what?
That he was your boy?
He was my boy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
cool at some point until, all of a sudden we became scammers and stuff. And then I got a 4-page letter about how I'm all about being a scammer because I'm here on the show with you guys.
You got a
So,
4-page letter? What are you talking
4
about?
pages.
That's what I call it. It was like just like a long DM, but using that old song, 4-page letter, Aaliyah, that's what I call it.
Saying what?
So yeah, just a long DM about how I'm a scammer and I'm hanging out with scammers. So I was just like, oh really? I thought we was cool. We was on the song together, all that, and now I'm a scammer because I say science proves things and shit like that. So okay, I guess that's that. More power to him and all that, but whatever.
Did he say why? Because I don't remember this. I don't remember you saying this, as in.
I do.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe it's just my memory, but did he specifically say why you're a scammer?
Well, because I'm with scammers. Remember the whole thing about us being scammers, Nathan?
Yeah, I remember that.
with
But
Jaredism. Yeah, well, that's I got thrown into the bunch. I mean, I'm in the bunch, right?
Sure.
I'm here, so yeah. So I got thrown into that same bunch.
Okay, that's nuts.
Rightfully so.
Exactly.
You didn't. Other than you're associated with scammers, so therefore I've got to pull from why I infer they claim I'm a scammer, which I to this day I couldn't give you a fully clear and concise answer to that. I could guess.
You don't remember because we were saying science proves things?
Yeah.
You don't remember that whole thing? Yeah, man.
Yeah, when did that happen?
Nah.
No, I definitely remember that.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, they're the scammers.
that's
They're-
correct.
They're punting ether without any evidence.
No, remember they had their Mount Meru scam with their echelons of truth on paywall behind the paywalls. Remember that?
For deeper knowledge, you must pay.
Now again, without shaming anybody, and it's unfair to keep laying these things at Quantum Racer's door after he's done them.
That really did tickle you, didn't it?
I barely pissed myself. Yeah, it's still hilarious, man. Just the way you said it too. It was perfect.
I think we were all laughing. Not out loud, but I was laughing.
It's you. Vaguely comes to mind that you were betraying Brian's trust by telling the audience, the public, about what little birdie told you, and it's actually what Brian speculated about in private with you, and gone, no, I don't talk about this, but I would guess maybe these people don't like us because they didn't get an invite to G+. You're like, that's why.
Well, I said that because I fought against him when he said it. So I couldn't pass up the opportunity when it was being speculated and what happened to them. I couldn't resist that.
Actually did ask him the question why yesterday. What
Oh,
happened?
really?
I don't remember exactly the way you put it, but you did ask SE more or less what happened to you guys.
Did we get an answer?
No.
Oh well. Yes.
Yeah, Raki used to be right in there with us all the time in the chat, coming on the show, on QE show. Then all of a sudden, we're bad.
Who cares? So long as they get fighting the good fight on the front foot, I don't care really. I mean, obviously, to get to that stage, we've got to build those interpersonal relationships with them and befriend them, and you know, whatever we've got to do to get them on our side, I don't care. I'm willing to do it. I mean, I say that there are limits, but you know what I'm getting at.
Who wants the not flat earthers on our team? I don't want them on our team.
Oh no!
I don't think
Oh
they
no!
are.
Somebody hates. Oh no! Somebody hates FED. What? Oh my God! What does that make today? A Thursday? Like, are you kidding me? Go cry in a corner somewhere. Nobody cares.
Well, QE was inquiring of what happened to them.
And I mean, no problem in inquiring, but if that's not their cup of tea, it's not their cup of tea, bro. Like, I'm not crying over spilled milk. Just like, y'all don't like us, all right, good. Just keep like Nathan said, keep fighting the good fight. Go out there and tell people how it's measured. How it's measured flat. We're not on a globe. That's all I care about.
Yeah, but they're not. They're saying how Earth is not flat. Remember, he's part of the Bev crew. You see, Chocolate, there's ballers, there's anti-flat earthers, there's flat earthers, and there's not flat earthers. And there'll be a fifth group soon.
The shit getting way too complicated. It used to be people that live on a magical spinning water ball and people that knew that they didn't. Now it's getting a little much.
No,
Those days are over.
That's not true. It used to be in opposition to people who believed they were on a spinning water ball, people who believed they weren't on a spinning water ball. They called themselves flat earthers, but their belief was that they weren't on a spinning water ball, and their process was to show people how they weren't on a spinning water ball, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
I'll go even more back and say, like the people that before everything else, it was just people that accepted that it was flat and didn't call themselves anything because they didn't have some opposition that they had to deal with.
Right.
Like when they knew it was flat, it was just Earth, right? They didn't have to call themselves flat earthers because nobody was telling them that it was something else other than that. So people came along, skipping along, like, hey guys, you know, actually we're sticking sideways to the side of a magical spinning water ball in a vacuum. Then other people were like, hey, that doesn't check out in reality, so we're gonna have to just deal with it being flat. Like I would love to go back to the point where we just call ourselves earthers, like just earthlings, and I don't have to call myself flat earther or baller or anything like that because I don't need a label to deal with the ground.
Earthlings. Now
just the
there's a
ground.
term I haven't heard in a while. Earthlings. That
Yeah.
is true, though.
But if it's the default position, there's what Chocolate's saying is there's no need for a label, right? But now the default position's become the opposition to an outrageous claim, so we have a label. We're flat earthers. It's like, I didn't realise I needed to be labelled anything. Oh, right. Because I don't believe what you state as an outrageous claim, I need a label.
Exactly.
Couldn't be any more of a protected group, though, could it? As it transpires. In the early days, you think, oh, God, well, they'll just wipe us out and just turn us off in the algorithm. Well, they can't, can they? What happens to every single instructional video about celestial navigation or mapping or measuring Earth? Do they all go under the footfall of, oh, well, these must be flat earthers. They're talking about how Earth's measured. So they can't do that.
I don't think we were supposed to make that connection. We were just supposed to keep arguing about ice walls and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why it was, shh, don't talk about 90. Because that connection, somebody realized that connection is very, very bad for them. So they were like, shh, keep that away from them. We already lost the physicality of our geometric horizon. Come on, come on. Don't tell them. Don't let them know now it's just measured flat. Come on, don't do that. And now look where they are.
Well, they flip back and forth. When they want it to be physical, it's physical. When they want it to be optical, it's optical.
Yeah. All the while using a flat Earth to do it.
Correct. You got it. That's it.
How long do you reckon it'll take? We did this with the Black Swan 4 years later. How long will it take flat earthers to realise that globers have been using flat Earth measurements the whole time? How long will that take? I'm
going to say first, I'm going to say never, just like I did with the Black Swan. Some people are never going to get it.
Now, this is different.
I'm still saying they're never going to get it.
Any other takers? How long before flat earthers realise that Earth measurements are flat?
I hesitate to put a number on it.
Considering you got people saying that they've measured Earth not flat, with fallacious modus ponens crew over there, I'm telling you, there's going to be some that never get it because they don't want to get it.
Yeah, but they've seen it prototypes, doing circles of equal altitude on the globe.
Funny you should say that, because when Kent first laid that out, it's like, how has everybody not seen this? Like, holy shoot, you're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of square miles that are flat? Are you kidding me? Then he started talking about if you plot another star and you get another circle of equal altitude and you do 3 of them, how much flat is that? So you hear these things and you like jump on it like, this is great for some. But for others, it's like, no.
Yeah, I don't think it'll take more than a year.
That's because you're delusional. You think Witsits are friendly. You still think Germans are friendly. And you think the land of misfit toys are going to have this revelation.
No, I think we can educate them. And as much as it might offend them, or they may be put out when they perceive us straighten them out, or however it was phrased to me yesterday by SC Montreal. Yeah, let's rephrase that. They will have to get over that. That is to say, if they need some massaging to get over that personal issue with me and how I've phrased this, who cares? As long as the information is clear and understood by the time we depart from those servers, I don't think it'll take more than a year.
Nathan, when I sat in a certain class and I did not like it, yes, that teacher could educate me. Everything he said could have educated me. But I was not interested. I did not want to hear it. Therefore, it fell on deaf ears. They don't want to hear it. Yes, you can educate them very well. but they don't want to hear it. There's a lot going on there. Pride is one of them. You heard it from SC Montreal.
Imagine those guys that were hanging out with Jesus that were like, hey, why are you going to go talk to those people over there that don't like you? What's going on, man? Jesus is like, nah, bro, look, I got you. You know, we'll go talk to him. It's all right. Nah.
No,
can't talk to them.
Chocolate.
Neil,
I
can you not
gotta
interrupt?
correct you.
Neil,
Hold on.
Neil,
That wasn't happening.
Neil, can you not interrupt me being compared to Jesus, please? Carry on, Chocolate.
No, that wasn't going on. Hold on, I'm gonna end you right here, Chocolate. Funny you should say that. The ones that didn't like him were the religious leaders, and you should hear how Jesus spoke to them, what he called them. The ones that did like him and were seeking him, he was a gentle, loving Savior who told them stories of how they'd gone astray and how he's here to bring them back. But to the religious, the know-it-alls that didn't like him because he came against what they were and what they were punting, he had some harsh statements.
All right, but you can't have harsh statements with somebody if you're not talking to them.
And QE's Jesus, not you, Nathan.
Oh, well, okay. I didn't get that from the comparison that was made, but there we go. Of course.
Don't you remember Brian?
Yeah, I remember Jesus saying, sod these guys, they're the land of misfit toys. Yeah, that's how I remember it too.
And some of them lands, he cracked the whip and drove them out. Now, I like that style. You want to go in there cracking a whip and driving them out? I'm right behind you, Doc.
They're not hustlers in the temple. What are you talking about?
Oh, they're not? So which is not a hustler? Pumping ether. That can't be proven.
No,
that makes us all look stupid.
He wasn't there yesterday.
They are the bad batch.
They all line up with Witsit. If you haven't noticed that yet, in that server, that Flat Earth Awakenings, whatever it is, Earth Awakenings, because not Flat Earth, Earth Awakenings, so anything goes, so ether goes there, because it's an awakening for Earth, right? They side with Witsit.
Yeah, you ever heard the cliche of somebody living rent-free in your head, by any chance?
Witsit's not living rent-free in my head. I deal with things as they come. Did you hear that yet? On InfoWars? It's the reason why they put it out there.
Nah, not yet. I haven't heard it yet.
I didn't either. I only heard about 15 minutes. I'm going to wait for all of us to do it together on Ballbusters. But come on, some of the things he says there. Jeez, come on. You can end it right here.
I watched it.
Go on then.
All
You
right,
can give
Eli,
us your
what'd
early
you
commentary. Right, so Be Here or Be Sphere on Ballbusters show, which will be on Saturday, where we're going to go through it. But let's get some early commentary. What did you think?
I wanted to keep asking myself, am I biased? And still I hated it because like it was mentioned before, I forget who mentioned it, but there is literally no mention of celestial navigation, elevation angles at the very least. No mention of Earth curvature measurements or lack thereof, or just nothing really. He just said it measures flat like once, and it wasn't really dealt with. The guy basically was scattergunning him the whole time, and nothing was this. Just like, yeah, this is a nice conversation. For who? Because the thing that the audience should walk away with is knowing that, well, there's a claim that Earth is a sphere, and it measures to be flat. Like that's what people should walk away with. How does it measure to be flat, et cetera, et cetera. But none of that was in this very popular conversation on this very popular platform. So,
just as you haven't been interrupted by Neil, I'll just read out the super chat. Retro Bill says, "Just thought I'd buck the trend by saying, quote, keep talking, Neil." Thank you for the super chat, Retro Bill. Hello, Adam.
Evening, everyone. Well, afternoon, isn't it? Well, in like
It depends where you live.
That part, right, Eli?
Was that Adam? Was Adam? Are you the one that said it didn't really have nothing, like no curvature in there, no nothing in there?
Like Witsit on InfoWars.
I'm not watching it because we said last night we was going to do it Saturday, didn't we? So I literally went to one bit yesterday, didn't I? Played it, yeah, and then played it you guys, which was the bit where like gravity and gravity has been disproven, which sounded good. And then he went on to say how he's proven his own gravity and he's got experiments to prove it.
There you have it. There you have it.
Is that the
I mean, there are a
bias?
few moments that he should have been able to win, but just, you know what? I mean, well, he it's not that he could control it, everything, but there's a time that they were talking about Lake Pontchartrain, and they showed Soundly's images of like Pontchartrain like curved, and he did like do a fair refutation of that by saying, look, we have images too that you can put up, like it's if that were the curve of the earth, it'd be like tiny earth. And then he had pictures also to show, I'm assuming, of like, you know, like there's a video if you zoom into the Pontchartrain, you can see that it's not actually curved. So I thought he was going there, but they didn't really pull up any of his images at that point. Like commercials are set, and it's just weird. Like, you know what? It's like, oh, this is old TV and it sucks. You know what I mean? Like, they got the commercials. We'll be right back. Like all that stuff that you hated as a child, which is why you moved to YouTube, is like kind of the style of. I don't know.
I totally get what you mean. I much prefer to wait 5 seconds to skip and then wait another 5 seconds to skip through an ad. I mean, I love that. It's much better than on TV.
Well, I don't have that problem because I have YouTube Premium. I always have, but I'm talking about like they have their own commercials within their show. Like, oh, we got to be right back.
Does it cut to Alex Jones? Yeah, buy these gay frogs in tins or something like that. Does he do the infomercial then in the breaks?
Well, I didn't. I just watched the edited version of the conversation. Alex Jones did step in like for one brief moment to ask just like I had telescopes when I was young, and those are planets. That's, you know, like, okay, man.
Me and my daddy, we used to look at planets.
Just thinking about Lake Pontchartrain and how we used to be told, like, this is the picture of the curvature of the Earth. As a matter of fact, it was built as a monument to the curvature of the Earth. Well, I wonder how that aged, being that now we're getting, it's too biggy, no curvy. How did that age again? Being that it's too big now to see the curve, to measure the curve. It's inappropriate to measure the curve. But back in the day, y'all got a picture of the curve? Okay.
Yeah, I want to crack the whip on QE. How you gonna let Mindshot get out there on a video before you?
Mindshock. Oh yeah,
How did he get out? What
he's on the cutting edge of saying fallacy and pressing a bell.
Yeah. He already dropped a review video
On which it?
on the debate. So there's a so I mean it is what it is. There's a a culture growing, and it's in the hands of the Witsits. It's not. I don't know what's going to happen in the foreseeable future.
That's really good to know. With that, though, I'm going to say if you're watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to all of you. Smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a member, got gifted a membership, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley. Stay tuned if you're watching on an after show, and I'll see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!